All right. Hello, everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. Welcome to Join DevOps with Azure by Mr. Raghu. I'll quickly just give you a brief about Mr. Raghu. Vignesh, if you could maybe move to the next slide. Great. So he has been working as a senior cloud architect for companies like Oracle, JP Morgan, Glue, and he has 16 plus years of experience in this field. And he has trained more than 6,800 students as well. There's another very exciting news. Vignesh, the next. Great. So he is the number one trainer in India for DevOps when it comes to training students for DevOps, and also when it comes to the number of live sessions he has conducted. And kudos to Raghu for that. Yes. So, the people that you will be encountering with during the course, definitely your trainer from the beginning till the end, he will be there to help you out with any doubts, queries that you have. And also, after 2 months into the course, you will get in touch with Krishna, who will help you with job assistance. So, when it comes to mock interviews, resume building, creating a top-notch resume, and also building a resume which is very ATS friendly, she will come into play. And I think Krishna is also on the call, and I request Krishna to probably give them a gist about how you have helped students before when it comes to the ATS score and resume building.
Right. Hey, hello everyone. I hope you all are having a very fine day and thanks Ashwati for the intro. So as we said, my name is Krishna and I will be your best advisor when it comes to your, all the HR related matters. So as we said, that includes the ATS resumes as well. So we are planning to relaunch our resume prep sessions from this batch as well. So, you can contact our dedicated team for all this. And, so all the HR matters that will include the resume preparation, then the interview preparation, and everything that you need to clear your interviews with, whatever company you're looking for. So, yeah, I'll talk to you all very soon. And thank you so much for joining. All the best, everyone.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Krishna. Thank you. So she will be the one who will be helping you out with, like I mentioned, resume building, with your ATS scores, all of that. Yes, so this is just basically a sample about how she has helped students with getting an ATS score of more than 80, which is a very good score and giving you a top-notch resume. So you don't have to worry when it comes to resume building. She will be there to help you out. Moving forward to course highlights, we will be covering 120 plus hours of training, and we will also be having real-time project experience just so you have hands-on experience on the tools that you're working on. Our training will be in multi-environments, which would be development, QA, and production. Now, a very important thing for you all is that we will have an 8-hour Q&A support window, basically an open forum for all of you all, where during those 8 hours and the timing will be given to you, you can go on to the link and we have a Q&A support team, dedicated team, who will be helping you out with any doubts or queries that you have. And the best part is at any point in time, that is, even after the course ends, they will be there to help you out. Even after 3.5 months, they will be there. So this is one very important thing for you all. And again, mock interviews, ATS resume preparation, Krishna has already covered that and she will be covering that in the future. Now, another thing is that we have an exclusive job portal. So the reason why we have this on our website is because there are a few companies that have their job openings only on one portal. For example, maybe only on LinkedIn or only on Naukri.com or only on their career sites. So, as a person who's searching for a job, it becomes very difficult for us and even confusing, right? That we go to every portal and then try to figure out which job is open, which job is suitable for you, etc. So what we try to do is that we have a dedicated team who will try to gather and collate all of this data and put it on one portal, which is ours. So I suggest that moving forward, if at all there's anybody who's really looking for a change, looking for a job, should go to our job portal as well, and you will get a collated or a gathering of all of these other job openings that are there on other portals. And yes, lifetime access to recordings. That is, whenever there is a live session and you do not have time to join that live session 1 or 2 days, you don't have to worry. We have these recordings and you can go through these recorded sessions. And just like the Q&A support window, this is also for lifetime. That is, you can access these recordings even after the course ends. And yes, a very exciting thing is that we have a 1 week free session, which is starting from today. Today is the demo session, and then followed by a 1 week free session. So this is basically a time for you to understand if this is the field that you want to go ahead with, if you're liking the course, etc. And the class timings will be from Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. And yes, and the session link and the timings would be the same. Okay, so this is, I just want all of you all to just give a glance. This is basically for you all to understand and a big quick overview of the course. That is, like I said, today is the free demo session. We have 1 week free access. And from day 5, we will immediately start with the project kickstarting. We kickstart the real-time projects. Then after 2 months, so for 2 months, this would continue. Post 2 months, Krishna will come into play. She will help you with HR guidance, mock interviews, resume preparation, etc. And it would be a mix of the real-time projects and what Krishna would be helping you out with for 1.5 months. And after 3.5 months, it would be real-time project completion. You will be completing the course after 3.5 months. And yes, like I already mentioned, lifetime recorded class access and Q&A support would be there for you even after the course ends. Great. Now, we also provide a course completion certificate. So the reason is, I also suggest you all to put it in your resume, because then it would definitely enhance your resume and it's a value addition to your resume. And we also provide internship certificates and will be provided to those who complete the stipulated requirement. All right, so we will have a WhatsApp community and we're going to keep the screen open for a few seconds. I suggest all of you all to quickly scan the QR. So this is a WhatsApp community and you will have all of the batch updates, any discussions, any important updates on this WhatsApp community. So I suggest all of you to quickly scan this QR and join the WhatsApp community as soon as possible. There's also another quick information that I wanted to give. We also have a mobile application, and at your convenience, you can also view these recordings or these sessions on your mobile as well. And we will be sending you the link across as soon as possible. And yes, and I think Vignesh, we can maybe open this for a few seconds just so all of them can join this community soon. And I suggest all of you to do that right away, just so you don't miss out on any updates. All right, so I hope you all have a very insightful day and also the days coming forward, and all the best, all of you. Thank you. Over to you, Raghu.
Hey, very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the training. And I hope you're able to see my screen. Can someone confirm? Yes, all right. Thank you very much. And yeah, so once again, a very good morning and good evening, everyone. And so today I'll just try to take maybe 10:45 is the time. So I'll try to take you another 30 minutes of time. And I'll try to convey like certain agenda, by the way. So for just to start with, I know everyone is curious to talk, but just bear with me for a few minutes, and then we'll try to talk about any of your queries a little bit leisurely. So today's agenda is going to be, let's understand where this DevOps is coming from and what we are actually going to learn in this particular DevOps training. Okay, so followed with Q&A. All right, and whoever has not been aware of me, myself is Raghu, and I'm having total 16 years of experience. And past 14 years, I've been teaching teaching or in doing the part-time teaching. By the way, have been taught many people on different domain. I mean, different layers of what technology has, which I was involved, and majorly into engineering aspect. And I majorly work for a modernizing in modernizing the application area. So from past almost 7 to 8 years, I've been working on the same area. So which is mostly the current trend in the market which is modernizing the applications, by the way. So just moving from legacy application transition to the latest current trend technologies. And I hope that experience would definitely help you in explaining the things better. So that's where my experience, I feel like it can really help you. All right. And I'm still working, like as I mentioned, and I'm learning as well, continuous. So continuous learning is my kind of a day-to-day thing again, right? So to start with, for the agenda perspective, and let's talk about market, by the way. So I know every one of us over here are here to learn something, and ultimately, end of the day, the goal is towards to some job, right? So that means some job market is there for this particular role, and that's how we are actually interested in that, right? Now, what is this market? Where do we get this particular job, or where are we going to get the job? Okay, so let's try to understand that. To understand that, so what we are going to see majorly where we get the job is in the software development lifecycle. So wherever we do the software development, so in that particular area, so we are going to get some jobs. Now, what is the software development lifecycle? Like, who develops the software, right? For an example, like you take companies like typical companies like Google, or maybe take Oracle, maybe take IBM. Okay, these companies, Microsoft. Okay, so these companies are typically a product-based companies. They make products and they make business and they sell the products and make the business, right? Now those guys actually develop the software development. But however, those are not the guys who only uses the IT, by the way. So every industry needs IT now, right? For an example, I'm a bank and I'm trying to serve my customers. I'm serving digitally, by the way, right? So that means some sort of mobile app, web app. So I develop my own software, okay? Or maybe let's say I'm into some sort of a insurance sector. I serve my customers um, over the some sort of an application. Or maybe for an example, you take any manufacturing company, like let's say Tesla or Mercedes-Benz. So these guys also, okay, so manufacture with a lot of digital IT involved out there. So they make applications for them, and even customers have their own applications to track their vehicle and all. The end users are there even for production. I mean, for their producing vehicles, it is there, right? If you try to see the government sector, for an example, like you take any government sector in any of the countries, by the way, so it's running on digital, right? So they develop the applications for them, isn't it? So software development lifecycle is not only done by only the product based companies, and everyone is trying to do. All right. And if you look at this particular, any of the example which I have told, so they were majorly telling you the applications which is mostly the web-based application. So web-based applications involves you open a .com website on the browser, or you install a mobile application. Both are same tech stack only. Or you install a mobile application in your mobile and you use the thing. So end of the day, it is going to be same. Just the interface changed. So it's a web interface, which you are using a web browser, and whereas that is a mobile interface. Okay, just the interface layer is changing, but rest everything is same. Okay, so this is how we are going to um, have the web-based applications is the major trend. So when we talk about SDLC, the majority of the area is for web business. Whereas there are business for softwares which are getting installed in your laptops also. For an example, some of the softwares which you install in your laptop also. Okay. So maybe that business is very small. And even such businesses also is getting into digital now. For an example, you take, let's say you're attending the session over Zoom. The Zoom you can install in your local system and you can use the Zoom application, or you can directly open the Zoom on the browser. Okay. Or else, okay, you take Microsoft Office, you can software you can install in your operating system, or else you can directly use it over the browser. And even now, Windows operating system itself is coming in browser, by the way, right? So Windows over cloud, they have introduced this year. So we just completely you access your system over the browser anywhere in the world, right? So web is the trend, major trend, okay? And that's where web-based applications is the big business when we talk about. Now, extending to this, okay, if we, okay, so try to understand about the applications, by the way. Now, these web-based applications in today's trend is being developed through some sort of an approach. And back in days, we used to develop with monolith, by the way. And now it is being, okay, extended to microservices. Monolith means one big piece which does everything, right? So it's called as monolith. Microservices is basically you're going to cut down into pieces and you're going to run those particular pieces. For an example, let's talk about a simple example. Okay, I always tell this example to understand the monolith. So let's pick up something called as a storekeeper or a store owner, something like that. So if you go to let's say a store, I own a store, let's say, and in that store, I am a owner. I'm the owner of the store. Let's say I'm the cashier. I am the bagger who packs everything. Okay. So and let's say maybe I do the cleaning job, everything. Okay, end to end, I am dealing with that. So that's monolith. Now the problem with the monolith is you can't scale, by the way. Now let's say you're ordering, you're processing 60 orders a minute or 60 orders an hour, let's say. 60 orders an hour you're processing. And if you want to scale it to 600, you can't do that, right? Because the same guy doing everything. So you hit a problem at some time. So same applies to the digital as well. Now everything is being run here. So you can't scale. Digitally, you can try to expand, by the way, but it always comes with some sort of a limitation. But whereas microservices is basically like, so split the job between multiple guys, by the way. So like cashier will do the cashier job and maybe like baggers will do the bagging job. Maybe marketing people will do the marketing, cleaning people will do the cleaning. Now this way, like let's say a lot of orders coming into processing. Okay. Then probably what you do is you scale up a little bit, so instead of 2 people, you'll deploy 4 people, right? The orders will be processed much fast. Okay. So cashier instead of one guy, you'll keep 2 guys. Okay, so things will process much faster. So this is how you can scale an individual piece of functionality of the requirement, right? So now here also in applications, by the way, there's a functional requirement of something. Those can cut into pieces, okay, where you can solve the things better. You can scale, by the way. All right. So this is what is the philosophy of microservices. Okay. And this trend is there from almost like you can say like 15, 16 years. The trend is there towards to the microservices. Now the microservices, what is the microservices scale we're talking about? Now let's say here is a single monolith, maybe just cut into 7 pieces or something like that, just for representation purpose. But however, if you just go and try to look at the just go and try to look at the scale in the market, right? Like some of the applications which we know, by the way. For example, if maybe everyone may be using Uber, but if I go and see that, how many microservices that Uber have, the answer you're getting is 2,200 critical services, they're saying. Okay. If I go and say that how many microservices does Netflix have, they're talking 1,000 microservices. If you go and say that how many microservices does Twitter have, so they're saying 1,200 microservices. These are all Google blips. Even if you type also, you'll get the same answer. Okay. Now you take another industry like thing, so which is Mercedes-Benz. And when you ask Mercedes-Benz, by the way, so they're telling that, so they're running 900, they're not telling a microservices way, but just try to imagine. So they're running 900 Kubernetes clusters. Okay. So which is even massive, by the way, for them. Okay. So for maybe, I think they're mostly into IoT, data things, by the way. So they may need to know more, but still, okay. So the number is big. So now when you talk about microservices, always the number is very big, by the way. Okay. And these kind of an applications, by the way, so when we talk about big, we're talking about really big, right? So, we're not talking about 1 floor, 2 floor building. Maybe we're talking about constructing a 100-floor building. Okay. So then, there should be some sort of a methods you need to follow to get the proper outcome, isn't it? So you can't just put brick by brick and you expect a 200-floor building. No, it has to be properly engineered very well, designed very well, engineered very well, and ultimately you'll see the outcome, right? It's not just easy like keep brick by brick and you expect the big projects to be done, isn't it? So that's where certain methodologies comes into picture to solve this particular problem. Okay, the methods are a waterfall model and agile model. And waterfall model is very much good with monolith applications, whereas for agile basically for microservices, agile is more flexible. Okay, so that's where today's world, if you look in, once the market started into microservices, now agile methodology picks up in that particular area. it has their own philosophies, which goes to the product management thing. Product managers will take care of that, right? So generally how to run the project. So it's not our worry, but generally we need to understand. So what is a methodology? It's just a so certain principles that you need to follow, to proven principles to follow to achieve your goal, by the way. Okay, principles, methods, and all. It's a methodology. Okay, anyhow, some more details we'll get it in the later in the sessions about agile and all, but for now, so this is what to start with. Now when you go into the waterfall model, and if you try to understand how the product development is happening, so this is how it is happening. So they gather the requirements, they will design it, like architect it. So then they will try to develop the applications, and then testing and maintenance, right? Let's try to see the team structure generally. And the team structure is looking like this. The team is saying like a business analyst is a person who will be there in the SDLC, in the life cycle of the product. So before that, even POs will be there, product owner, product manager. Okay, maybe there are other people as well. Okay, so from the business perspective. But however, let's start from the technical people. So BA is also he's a semi-technical guy. He's more of a business understanding and can translate that into technical things. Like whatever it is, so business analyst will try to gather the requirements and send those particular requirements to architects to design the application, by the way. So architects are some senior developers kind of a thing. So they will try to architect it and go for developer. Okay, it goes to the developer, and developer is going to develop it. And once the development is done, so it goes to the QA, and QA people will do the testing, and finally goes to the, okay, so we're talking about web application, isn't it? So that means someone should be accessing our application. So that means it needs to host in some server, like someone to be accessing it. Then, okay, so I have to host some server. So that's where I might require my own data center. So the DC team comes into picture. Okay. The DC team comes into picture, and the DC, once the DC comes in, they'll set up some servers and all. So then OS team will come into picture and set up the servers. Okay, so maybe here the technology can be a middleware technology also. Sorry, middleware in the sense like virtual machine technology also, which is some sort of a virtual machines. Maybe those guys will take care. And after that, middleware team comes into picture and deploys the application. Okay, your application is running. But to connect all these particular, okay, so, or maybe application requires a database, DBA team comes into picture. And all these particular devices, middleware, databases, and all, and DBA is coming into picture. There's a storage coming into picture. So to keep the data pretty much available, okay, not to lose anything. So the storage team comes into picture. And then so the database comes into picture. So backups comes into picture. Backup team will be there. To connect all these sort of devices, you're going to have a network team as well. Okay, so this is also another team, so which is involved. So these all teams together is going to make your application up and running. And plus infosec team will be there. Okay, security teams will be there. So who is monitoring your application, web application, detecting the threats. Okay, so identifying any security issues on the application which is running. So that is their job. All right, so this is what it is. Now, where this DevOps is actually coming from in this particular process, why are we talking about this and all, and are basically in waterfall model. So there was engineers, but they were doing in a different way, by the way. Okay, so now this particular DevOps engineer comes into the picture in the same process. Okay, so simply replacing this particular operational area from different people. So replacing by an engineer who can do the job. So that's where the DevOps engineer come into picture, who does all the job, like middleware, OS, storage, backup, all these particular things. Whatever we have, everything is going to get automated. Plus infosec is always there, right? Now maybe infosec also you're trying to adapt as a part of the process of releasing the application, making it to the customer available. So then we are going to call ourselves as DevSecOps engineer. So what we are going to do is we are going to release the application by doing some security checks. Okay, and if everything is fine, and okay, so we'll release the application. And on the running application also, we'll try to do the security checks as well, or monitor the security aspect as well on the running application. So it's a whole end-to-end job you actually are doing. It is a DevSecOps. Okay, so that's where our role comes into picture. And apart from that, there'll be a monitoring team, always GOC and OC. There'll be analysts always. Now let's try to keep a question to ourselves. Okay, there are so many people who are doing the job. Now this DevOps engineer is not a hero to do that, right? So he is not does everything, by the way. So there should be some trade-off here, right? Otherwise, it's not possible to I go and replace 7 guys and I do everything, by the way, right? So yes, but it is happening, but it is happening with something called as cloud offerings. Now, when you go into the cloud, and every project, most of the guys are actually trying to the cloud, are trying the cloud methods. Okay, not let's say some companies not going to the cloud, but let's stick to their approach, whether or their approach is cloud methods. And while they're doing that, so then they attain a lot of okay, so they'll I mean, like let's say if I'm going with a cloud offering, so all these particular aspects like middleware, OS, storage, backup, network, DC, DBS, all these particular things is provided by the cloud vendor. You no need to do, you know, to take care of any burden, by the way, right? So you don't need to bother about too much or what the way that traditionally those guys are doing. You don't need to bother about that. So you do it in a services consuming way. So they offer the services, you'll consume the services. Now, typically the DevOps engineer is going to deal with the microservices that is running on the cloud. Let's say if you have cloud, by the way, okay, releasing the application to the customers and ensuring the application never goes down and things like that. And if there is a infosec and appsec, tasks also coming, or if infosec, appsec, okay, approach or has been kept in the process of releasing the application, okay, so to the end customer, so then that is DevSecOps. So we're going to work on that particular. So this training we are going to target is a DevSecOps, by the way. So adding security as a core thing, or must thing, not a core thing, must thing, by the way. All right. So this is how our things are, our DevOps engineer or DevSecOps engineer coming into picture. All right. So that is the place that where we actually coming from waterfall model to agile model in the transformation, a new engineer coming into picture. So now this engineer is not new, because back in days the middleware engineer, whoever is majorly was there, and he was extending his work. For an example, when we started the career, a cloud was there, okay, but still maybe back in 2008 I'm talking about. So the cloud was there, okay, maybe from 2009 I was starting using the Amazon cloud, but before to that even I worked for some of the systems where we used to do the job of middleware, including OS, including storage, backup. Maybe a single team having a different expertise doing all the job, by the way. So maybe more of a manual way we're doing, okay, engineering job. So setting up the applications, web applications was there at that time, and those are running at that time. So there's nothing new, okay. So this engineering role was there from quite some time, and just change the shape of how it looks, okay. So that's how it is now. Let's get on to the roles and responsibilities of a DevOps engineer. So we already talked about dealing with the cloud, and which is nothing but managing the infrastructure, and that to be writing through a code, by the way. You will not go with the manual way of doing the things. Okay. So manually you can create a server, but that's not the way that we want to do it, because you can't scale. Like I was giving a shopkeeper example, right? So now let's say the same shop, maybe I want to expand my business in such a way that I wanted to deal with a massive scale. Maybe I'm dealing with a 60 orders an hour. Okay, I wanted to extend to 600 hours an hour. Okay, 600 orders per an hour. So that means I had to deploy, let's say 2 people are dealing with, for an example, 60 orders. If I want to deal with the 600 things, so then probably I had to deploy 300 people, isn't it? Yeah, so 300 people I had to deal with that. Now, sorry, maybe the same scale, I want to think about 6,000, 60,000. We can't deploy those many people there. So then that's where I look at for an automation, right? So that's how, okay, so here also, like, we from the starting, our goal is towards automation, and that's where we'll deal with the code and all. So managing the code or managing the infrastructure through the code is one of the important tasks of your role, and also releasing the application we talked about. So that is CI/CD. Okay, so having highly available application, deliver strategies and all. We'll talk about that later anyhow in the training. And then the core of your job is again is automating. Anything you see is all through automation only, no manual. Okay, and plus security. I think you're not seeing the deck, by the way, but plus security. So any security, every day you'll be having a security analysis on the systems. Those will be monitored 24/7. Any security incident comes into picture or security identification comes into picture. So you run behind fixing this or talking to the vendors and getting it fixed. Okay. So whatever it is, you're not a security guy again. Okay. So that means like, any security issue comes into picture, you don't go and fix it. So there are security community security companies, okay, they will offer a patch for that, okay, how to fix it, and you are going to fix it. Okay, you are not going to develop that patch. So there's a difference there. Okay, when I say that infosec appsec, by the way, so then there are a separate team usually in the companies. They will work on this particular patching and all, identifying more in detail, okay, and also finding out the patches and all, or giving the patches and all. So this is how we are going to have security also in the part of it. All right. So the next is a very important one. Basically, that's the history of the DevOps. If we to understand the roles and responsibilities. Now, the tools that we are going to learn over here, and why I'm teaching those particular tools. Okay, why these tools only generally, right? Now maybe if any one of you have done some groundwork and you open the course curriculum from different people, you would have seen different things, right? So some people maybe teaching you some tech stack, whatever the reason it is, they're teaching some tech stack, and teaching that tech stack is why they're teaching it. Okay, because I mean, let's say if I want to teach some tech stack, so what could be the reasons I'll pick that certain tech stack? Because I'm working on the tech stack, I know what is this, I'll teach that. But the problem with the DevOps is, I mean, if it is a Java or something like that, it's a different story. Okay, or it is a Salesforce, or it's a middle, or it's a mainframe. So, or it's an SAP. The story is different, by the way. But DevOps stories are a bit different. Okay. Why? Because here you have a wide variety of tools. Picking up a particular tool on the choice. Okay, why to pick it up? Okay, is a big question. And that is where we're going to take the help of another website here, which is called as roadmap.sh, and which is a community, by the way. So we don't need to bother that it owns by someone. So who is trying to force you to learn something, right? So or he's trying to put it in that way, in a way like, I mean, if I teach some tools on from my thought process, I'll teach what I know. Okay. So is something, right? So, but however, maybe I'm not teaching what is really needed in the market. I also need a guidance there. And that's where, okay, this roadmap.sh is going to help us here. So I'll open a website, which is roadmap.sh. This roadmap.sh is a good community, by the way. Okay. So it ranks 7th in the GitHub. Okay. It ranks 7th place in the GitHub, all the projects, by the way. And so they give the roles for different people, and you're having a role for DevOps. Okay. Now this particular role is, in this particular one, they are going to talk about different tech stack in different areas. What we are doing there is we're cherry picking that and doing that. So that means I'll pick something with my experience now, and I'll try to teach it. So for example, you should learn some scripting language. That's where the Python or Golang they're telling. So we'll teach you Python because we know something. Python is a kind of widely used in the system. So Python is a fine, right? In the operating system, so they tell Debian and RHEL. We'll pick up RHEL because I'm again coming from an experience. So I know what is it. So that's where I'm picking up Red Hat, because enterprise companies uses Red Hat. Okay, so the same way now, what all the purple colors in each and every area, we're going to pick up something and teach it. So terminal knowledge, we're going to teach you Bash, by the way, and some of the commands in the operating system. And version control system, we're going to teach you Git, and VCS, it's going to be GitHub, and containers, it's going to be Docker, and how to set up a web-based application. So these are all purple colors. Whatever you see will be covered in the training. Those are all approaches. And the next is the networking. So you'll see all the protocols, whatever you see over here in the training. And the next is cloud provider. You're going to learn Azure, one of it. And serverless, we're going to pick Azure Functions, just looking at the serverless technology. And the next is a provisioning perspective. We are going to teach you Terraform. And so the cloud formation, we have Ansible. And CI/CD tools, we have GitHub Actions. Secret management, we have Vault. And infrastructure monitoring, we have Prometheus and Grafana. Log management, we are having Elasticstack. Okay, container orchestration, we have Kubernetes. Application monitoring, we are teaching New Relic. And artifact management, we're dealing with Artifactory. And GitOps is we're dealing that with Arco CD, and service mesh with Istio, and some design principles. Okay. These are all the things which is involved in the training, by the way. And some plus features are also there. Like let me, for an example, they didn't talk about Helm charts as an example. Okay. So we are going to cover the Helm charts as well. And this didn't cover security tools, by the way. So we're going to talk about security tools also. Okay. Just bringing the syllabus. So this is the syllabus, and also I'll try to put you in the chat. You can take a look if you haven't went through. So this is what it is, and I structured it and I'm moving on like this. Okay, so these are all, I just grouped them, and this is the order I'm actually going to take. All right, so that comes to the third part of the agenda for today. And yeah, so that's what we are going to learn. And in detail, you can see in the course curriculum, that's okay. But high level is what you are going to learn. And this course is designed for a person who want to go and work as a DevOps engineer with hands-on. We're targeting those guys. Okay. If you're looking for just an overview kind of a thing, then maybe this much sessions is not needed. So because overview can be done in a short time. If you are really looking for a hands-on in a company, how they will do, and we wanted to replicate the same thing. So that is what we are going to do in the training. Okay. And that is even the recipe or the secret sauce that we have in our training is only to, okay, take you everything in a way that how it works in the company. Okay. So because that same trainings actually can be told in thought in different ways also. For an example, I can just go here. For an example, you have here. So then I told, for an example, here I have something called as provisioning tool, or I have a configuration management tool. You learn configuration management, Ansible you learned a provisioning tool, Terraform. Now that means the moment you go into the vault, you should implement this knowledge onto the vault. But if you're learning vault as a different tool, then again, there's no point. Okay. So you go to the CI/CD tools, at least wherever it is possible, you should implement all the things into this GitHub action. Okay. Or you go to the container orchestration. Okay. Or you learn some monitoring, by the way. Okay. You learn these particular things. Now you keep a pull stop and go to the Kubernetes and learn only Kubernetes, by the way. So without knowing how to monitor, how to do the secret management in Kubernetes with Vault, some third party. Okay. How to do the CI/CD in Kubernetes, or maybe if you don't know how to provision the things in off Kubernetes, how to provision the Kubernetes with automation, with Terraform and all. So some of the configuration managements by using Ansible. So there is no point, by the way. And that is the major one, what we are going to do in the training. Okay, that's our simple secret sauce. We do everything. So now that means when we take a topic and in our roadmap, when we consider that we say something is done, next one, if we go in, we'll definitely use that knowledge or use that tool in the next things. Otherwise, there is no point. And that makes the that makes the training little complex. Okay, little deep it will take you. Because every tool, if you're trying to learn individually, it's a happy path. It's a very, very happy path. Okay. So that is the only difference I would say. Call it out. And like a couple of other things, like which is already mentioned in the starting of the training, if you have missed them. So what is the other things that we have as a outstanding, that why this particular training? So we're going to offer the lab sessions, by the way. So every day, a dedicated 8-hour time, a window, the team will be there to answer you, and I'll also be there. Okay, so it depends upon my time availability, but your question will be answered. The team will be there, so we'll try to answer your question. We'll try to solve your problem. Okay, and that one will continue even after the training as well. Okay, so it's not like you're done with the training. We'll not say goodbye. Okay, so we'll continue the journey. As long as you're committed to learn, we are committed to help. Okay, so it's all completely depends upon you only. Okay, so that's all from my side for today, for this particular for this today's agenda. And if you have any questions, please, if you have any questions, you'll find a raise hand option. So in the Zoom, by the way, so you'll click on reactions and you'll find a raise hand. So click on raise hand and I will come to you one by one. So just have some patience. Don't just continuously click on raise hand, down hand. Just raise hand and just wait for your turn. I'll come to you and we'll talk. Okay. And also before taking the questions, the training starts right from tomorrow and the timing is going to be morning 6 to 7:30 if you are in India time zone. Maybe let's say if you're in US or somewhere, so it's going to be 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. All right. So yeah, let's go through the questions if you have any. Vignesh, can you keep me as a host or I can take it? I think, yeah, 1 second. Yeah. Thanks.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi Raghu. Thanks for the introduction. I have one question. Right, currently we see AWS cloud is mostly using across the industry, right? So followed by Google or followed by Azure cloud. So with respect to opportunities, how we can compare with Azure with AWS? Then how the opportunities would come across if I go and trained in the Azure cloud.
Yeah. So if you look at the numbers, by the way, right? So here, for an example, I'll try to do this. So even, I don't know, right? So we have to go through some numbers which is there in the market. Let's try to see that. So cloud usage market. Okay. Maybe let's say Azure versus AWS. Let's pick up only these guys. So some document is coming. Okay. So which it is telling that, so there is a 33% of infrastructure services in Q1 in 2022. There's a old data only. Okay. And whereas 22% is there in 2022 for Azure, by the way. And almost our understanding at this point of time is they are almost equal at this point of time. Okay. So maybe 1 or 2% difference would come into picture. So who would be the winner is a second question. But AWS and Azure is equivalent to the market right now. So that's where, okay. So, your understanding is right just few years back, but not as of today. So now your career, by the way, which cloud you pick it up is your choice. Okay. And due to a reason that, your company is using AWS or you want to learn AWS and, go continue with that, it's well and good. Or your company is using Azure and you wanted to learn Azure and you want to move on, it's also good. And that's where as a trainer I don't want to differentiate anymore because at least we have been doing that, but now at this point of time if I deny of doing that, there's no point. Okay, there's a business for Azure as well, and ultimately I want to teach you that as well. So that's how. So that's sure. So which cloud, basically it's your choice, and why you're picking that is completely depends upon your choice, your career path.
Okay, if my understanding is correct, right, Azure cloud also have ample opportunities right now in the market, right?
Correct.
So one more question, right? Because if we started into training and maybe if we come across some kind of tools, for example, Kubernetes, Git, or whatever it may be, right? In that case, could you please going to help us to, download the software onto my local machine, and then we can able to start practicing on my own, on myself. That is possible right now, or only you are training on the upfront only you are giving some kind of maybe executing some commands and showing some kind of outputs, that's all, but we don't have any option to download the software and practice ourselves.
Yeah, we'll take care of everything, no worry.
That you can help, right, to download the software. Maybe it's not a live session, is not required, but anyway some recorded session is also fine, so that we can able to follow some kind of steps, and then we can try to download your software, and then we can try to practice ourselves on our local machine itself.
Yeah, it's not local machine, it's a cloud machines, but so we'll not just bring something from nothing, by the way. So we'll always start from zero. We'll go with a clear context. And also my training, we go with a greenfield approach. What is this greenfield approach is, I mean, we start from scratch, by the way. There's a greenfield, brownfield in the engineering world. Okay. So brownfield projects is basically like, we prepare everything and we'll come and we'll just do one run, say that, so this is done. And you go back and, maybe we'll show the code or something like that. The steps will show, but we'll never execute. That's a brownfield approach. Greenfield approach is I'll come with an empty land. That means like empty environment. I'll start doing before your eyes only. Okay. In the session only I'll do. So that means there is no, your question would never arise in my training at least.
Okay. So I have been in the industry for the last 10 years. So, okay, if I started learning this, right, DevOps with Azure or DevOps with AWS, can I get ample opportunities in the industry because I have around 10 years of experience in IT industry, currently working on the Java platform only. Suppose if we plan to move to a different, right, DevOps with Azure or AWS, can I have ample opportunities in the market? Because I'm transforming from one platform to another platform, right? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, you will get it. That's the agenda of the training.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi Raghu, this is Manjunath from Bangalore.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the demo today. So I'm having 2 years of experience in cloud, in Tableau, and also recently with Azure Cloud. So and also I have done with Azure Admin as well, and also currently working with Azure Data little bit over. So will it be added advantage to Azure DevOps, right?
So this is not ADO, by the way. Azure DevOps word is a different, different product. We're not doing that. We're going to do an engineering job on Azure Cloud.
Okay.
And Azure DevOps is also announced retirement as well. I'm not sure you've seen that news. And so they're putting only GitHub Action. So that's where if you see this here, okay, in the CI/CD tools, they were nowhere mentioning Azure DevOps. So Azure DevOps I used to teach long back, by the way. So for an example, if I go for one, this is my 82 batch, and sometime we were using Azure DevOps. It's basically almost like 48, 49 until 67 I teached, and I stopped it. Okay, why I stopped is very simple reason, because I follow this roadmap data section only. Okay, so whatever the direction these guys will tell and market how it goes, we transform the training in that way. So Azure DevOps itself is actually announced their retirement, I think 27 if I'm not wrong. So they are putting towards GitHub Actions. So okay, so that's where migrating all the features of ADO to GitHub Actions. So that's how GitHub Actions is the one. So this is not Azure DevOps. This is Azure Cloud you're going to learn, and you're going to do an engineering job in Azure Cloud.
Okay. Maybe you can give some more info. A little bit confusing actually.
That itself is a confusing, because Azure DevOps, when you say Azure DevOps is a product, Microsoft, if you say, everything is not Microsoft, right? There's a Microsoft Windows, there's a Microsoft Office, there's a Microsoft blah, blah, right? So many are, right? So same Azure vertical also, Azure Cloud is there, Azure DevOps is there. Okay. Azure DevOps is only this CI/CD tool you're seeing here, right? So one CI/CD.
Okay.
This is one area, only ADO comes here, Azure DevOps comes here. It will not cover, but we are not doing that. We are doing a proper DevOps role, DevOps engineer role. We are doing a role, not a tool training.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mean to say that at the end of the day, we'll get full like end-to-end what is happening in a business, right?
As a DevOps engineer, yes.
Not only. Okay. Just actually, so is there any possible because generally So is there any possibility 6:15 or something and just request?
No. 6 o'clock sharp.
Okay. Okay. One more thing, this demo is a little bit fast pace, I think. It'll be the same continue for that class, or it'll be a little bit slow because it's a bit hard to follow.
See, that's okay. Let it be. You'll get used to that, right? Maybe when you're driving let's say you learn a motorbike, or let's say you learn cycle. On the day one, you can't become a champion, right? I mean, you can't compare with someone who is riding fast. One day you'll reach there, right? You will understand it. How to go there also you'll understand it. It's a natural, na? It's organic only. He lost. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. Good morning. This is Mallikarjun. Thanks for this session for the last 45 minutes. The same question, whatever Manjunath asked. So I am also asking to the same question. Like you already told, like ADO was you are not using here. So that is also in my mind. So that is the one question for me. Since you already told, I don't have much questions on this. And coming to currently I'm going to complete 5 years by next month. So I'm working currently as EUC analyst, okay, end user computing tool, which is next thing. So just I want to cross skill myself, and I just want to job change which into DevOps field. So how this training is going to help for me? I just want to real time, because I just want to crack the interviews like I did something in my previous company. And likewise, so will this course help me to in real time to crack the interview?
Yeah. Whatever I teach, if you learn, the answer is yes.
Okay. Okay, fine, sir. This is what I have question. So remaining things I have gone through your documentation. You uploaded on the Google Docs, so it's fine for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi Raghu, thanks for session.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier, like you're saying that Azure DevOps was not involved in this course. You mean like you're not going to try in that one, or like we're not going to implement in that part?
So there's an alternative tool which is called as GitHub Actions in our training. So
Okay.
it's very simple. I am going with this guy. Okay, if this guy would have given a purple color to ADO, I would have teach that.
Okay.
So that is now, I mean, we want a direction, right? So the direction, you
Yes.
also have a limited knowledge because you're coming into a new area. You don't have a direction. And maybe you talk to your some friends and all. They have also, their circle is also limited, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So there is no community properly telling you, okay, so this is the one. So that's where this roadmap.sh will help us. So yeah, so these guys would have kept it. I would have kept it. Okay. So earlier our syllabus used to have Jenkins. Now the Jenkins is been moved as this one. So that's where in our
Okay.
syllabus we went ahead and moved the Jenkins outside. So sometime back I was having both the versions also
Okay.
in the training. Yeah.
All right. So what is happening with the you mean like a lab session? So we got to access with the portal of Azure, or like we have to be our own labs, have to practice on our own side?
Yeah,
Do you
you'll
get
be practicing in your own, but if you are stuck with any, but because you're the first time you're doing, right? So we'll definitely have challenges. We'll help you with those challenges and any questions.
Okay, you mean like a free portal, right? That the one we're gonna use it?
It's not free, by the way. So nothing is free there. Okay, so it's paid version only. Azure free is not free. Don't excite too much. Okay, so they'll charge you. And we are not doing the hello world training again. That let's bring back the, the point we talked about. The real time goes with huge number of microservices, right? So now, if you ask me the real time training, the real time won't pay the bill, right? I mean, it's not like that, right? Companies has to pay the bill because they have to consume the services. Now, if I say that we can't we won't pay the bill to Azure, no, it's not going to happen. You have to pay the bill because we use the services in a serious way. Okay, because we do not Hello World. Hello World, yes, I can take you to maybe the free training, or I mean free amount from Azure, but we are not doing that. We'll just run ample amount of servers. So 30-40 servers will run at a point of time. Okay, so those and all Azure will not provide for free of cost. It's going to be cost.
Okay. So with our own expenses, right? You mean?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just for amount to check. Okay. Thanks for that. Yeah.
Yeah. You're on mute, Venkat. You need to unmute and talk. Moving on.
Yeah. Hi,
Yeah.
Raghu. This is Venkat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for the session. And my question is like, what will be the future of DevOps in coming 5 years due to there is a huge AI is going on, a buzz is going on. What will be the coming? What will happen to Azure or any cloud related DevOps?
Okay, there is a philosophy that you need to learn, by the way. So just out of a technical context, okay, we will see when we cross the bridge. Sharing my screen, yeah. So we'll see when you cross the bridge, by the way. So there's a philosophy for that. Okay. So that means let the AI really come, we'll see. I mean, if you start bothering about today, you can't live tomorrow, right? So, I mean, at least that's a way.
Yeah, as you are in the field, are you seeing any changes?
Let it
how
come.
it is
Change
going?
is good only, right?
No, like how you are like seeing what kind of in our training is that going to be uh, using some AI tools, something like that?
No, what your understanding of AI is not the AI. But can you define what is AI? What AI will do?
Yeah, it is going to help us to do our job better.
Then
So like
it will be
people are using
empowering.
nowadays
Means-
like a ChatGPT, those kind of tools to do DevOps related tasks. Like it is helping steps, giving you steps like that. Making scripts.
No, I don't think so, Venkat. ChatGPT is not matured enough to give any solutions, by the way. It's the okay. So if you really do some requirement with the ChatGPT, okay, then you would have not been here, right? If AI, like you can also open AI, can you teach me Azure means it will start teaching you the Azure, right? Why not? Yes or no?
Yeah, see.
Yeah. Then why are you coming here?
No, I mean like once you as you are experienced, you will know like what can pick from there. If it is sometimes if you're stuck, it may give us kind of a.
You're doing all the time Google search, right? At least I've been using Google search from 20 years. Still the Google search is there. Maybe the search prompt has been changed to an AI prompt when you say AI or GPT prompt, right? It just moved on to there. But is it replacing your job, by the way?
Yeah, thank you, Raghu. And another question is like what
No,
kind
no,
of
I did not. I did not heard correctly from you. Is it replacing your job?
no.
Then why the worry?
Yeah.
Because 5 years future you're talking. Okay, AI will replace you. Asked, by the way. I mean, the answer which you gave is contrast with the question which you asked, right?
Yeah. And another question is, Raghu, thank you for that.
Again, Venkat, I'm not sure if you're happy with the answer or just moving on because you didn't got it. You didn't conclude it on.
See, like these days there is a lot of buzz like people are using ChatGPT to do their job like that. I'm just hearing like that. Hearing people. So
ChatGPT is very simple prompt, boss. Like, why do you thinking that is a big thing here? Is the prompt you open in your browser also, you open the same prompt, right? I mean, you have a question, you ask, and it gives the answer. Maybe the Google was giving, which is answered by someone else. Now a system is being trained and giving the answer. It's as simple as that, right? Yes or no? Like, I mean, let's
Yeah.
come on to this. Let's disagree. Maybe if you have a disagreement, that's fine. But at least you conclude something, no?
Yeah, I agree, because you can't rely on machine or some to take some crucial decisions, which is
Yeah,
yeah,
it's going to help you empower yourself only, right? It's not
yeah,
going to
that is the
replace.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not
yes,
going to replace you. So that is what you need to understand, by the way. So I mean, it may replace also. I don't know. Like, I'm not a,
yeah,
I don't do the
you don't
astronomy.
know. Yeah.
I just predict the future, right? I'm not that guy, right? So that's where I'm talking about. Okay, this question was there from quite some time. It's not new thing, by the way. What the question you have is always there in the people mind, and all there's a phrase as well for this. Okay, so we'll see when we cross the bridge. Okay, if you are really watching many English movies and all, so some or at least couple of movies will have this phrase as well. So while dealing with the problem. So now what this actually philosophy or this particular phrase or approach, what they will tell is, okay, if there is any problem, by the way, which you can't solve today, we'll see when we face the problem tomorrow, but we don't stop today. Okay. So I think this is something you should read about it. You don't bother about.
That's really good one, Raghu, to yeah, it's a good philosophy. My another question is like, what kind of tier from Azure Azure will have membership from Azure. So to do this lab and hands-on things. So what tier is fitting? It again, it depends on the task. Or is there anything recommendable tier in our course we are going with? Any preconditions we'll go with before one day, like have this with you and all?
No, I did not got it, Venkat. What is the subscription you're saying?
What,
Sorry.
yeah, subscription. Yeah. What tier of subscription? Yeah.
What year of subscription?
Yeah, there is a basic membership. There are so
It
many.
is free only, basic
Yeah.
only.
Okay.
You're talking about the support from Azure while you're registering.
Yeah, while doing tasks which are given, whichever we are going to do during the sessions.
Mm-hmm.
What type of membership is good enough to do labs? I mean,
No, that is free only. We'll not take any support from Azure. We don't do that. That's too costly. We'll go with the basic one, free.
so will that going to fulfill those tasks which we do in real time?
No, that is only you get a support. When you are stuck with something, you call Azure and you get a support. For that only you need it. Okay.
Okay.
It's a support membership.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, every account is same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Raghu. That's it.
Krishna, you're on mute. Yeah. Not able to hear you. Check your mic. Moving on.
Hello.
Yeah, Hari.
Yeah, Raghu. Thank you. Raghu, actually, you have mentioned like for DevOps, we need to learn one programming language.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For that, we have Python, Golang, and JavaScript. What is the difference for if we learn JavaScript instead of Python?
You can learn, no problem.
Is there will be any impact while learning the JavaScript for the DevOps or not? Because many of the people they are saying go for Python, not for JavaScript.
Yeah, that's what, like, you can do any job in any of the way, by the way. Those are two different, I mean, languages which has their own advantages, disadvantages on the thing. You always need to look like this, maybe. For an example, if I want to remove a wall, let's say a screw from wall, I'll always tell this basic example, but don't take me wrong. But just
Okay.
let's say there's a screw in the wall. Now I want to remove it, by the way. So there are multiple ways to do that, right? So maybe use a screwdriver and remove the screw, or you maybe use like let's say pull with some sort of a cutting plier, or you break the whole wall and remove the screw also. Okay, if your goal is towards removing the screw, okay, then your thought process would be what is the best way of doing it. Doing the job it can do anyway. Node.js can do the job, Python can do the job. Any if you have a requirement, any guy would have done the job. But what is the best suitable thing for that requirement is what you need to understand. So that's where don't just stick like only Python will solve the problem, only Node.js will solve the problem. So since these guys are telling go with Python, we're going with the Python. Maybe Python may not solve every problem, by the way. Some scenarios Node.js also might come into picture. But anyhow, you already learned one, so picking up that then doing for the other one is not a big deal, right? You simply, so you already know one, you compare and do it, right?
So you're suggesting me to learn JavaScript and again with the Python.
No, here in the roadmap.sh, this guy is telling, okay, Python, we are going with Python. That's it. Even when I do a lot of automation, I do JS only. Okay. See, that's what I'm telling again. Okay, don't stick with that. Okay, understand the requirement and you choose accordingly.
Yeah. Again, one question. Basically, in this, you have mentioned like GitHub. Why not Jenkins?
Because these guys are not telling it. Jenkins is losing the pace in the market, right?
Acha. Okay. So GitHub Actions are taking it's in demand right now compared to Jenkins.
Jenkins is not modern, by the way, right? When you have a power of flying, why do you walk and why do you run, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So that's where GitHub Actions and all is all too modern. So it is actually solving the modern problem. So Jenkins have a almost 15, 16 years history. Okay, and even should be more than that, right? It's not Jenkins. There used to be when we started the careers, Jenkins was not there. It was all Hudson. So Hudson was there at least 20 sometime, I don't really remember, but yeah, so at least before 2008 it was there, right? So that's where it was coming from that legacy and thoughts, by the way. So you can't actually deal with the today's real power. That's where so Jenkins is kind of deprecating in the market.
Okay, sir. Another one thing, in YouTube, they mentioned like Kafka, observability, Kafka.
Yeah.
You're going to teaching that Kafka?
Yeah, our project has messaging queues, by the way, but our project has RabbitMQ. Okay. But of course, end of the day, Kafka also does the same thing. So you already know one thing, again, comparing with the other one. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Actually, my problem is that I actually have joined in DevOps previously. Okay. But I didn't got any more impact on the teaching, like any instructions or anything else. So my money got wasted. So if I join this, how it will helpful for me?
See, if you ask this question to a marketing people, will give you a fantastic answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Rather than that, you decide you already have an experience. So compare that with this one, and you have that feeling that yes, this is the right one. Then you join. Okay. So just don't go with. I think you already asked the same question to the previous guy. He told very good, right? So don't ask us. You do your work. Okay. You compare. You come with a confidence that yes, okay, I'm learning from this guy because of this so and so reasons, and yes, and of course, maybe if your feeling is true, then probably I'll also, maybe doing the same thing. But yeah, like as I mentioned, so we do little better than other people. Okay, but as a marketing person, I couldn't say that because there may be other person who is doing better than me also, right? I don't know. Okay. So I think it's your job to compare the appropriate one, and you feel what is the right one, you join there. That's my side. If I were you, at least I do that.
Yeah. Okay, brother. Okay, brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, Raghu. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, Raghu, I have a question. Like, okay, in Azure free subscription, I think it is valid for only 1 month or 2 months. So will it enough for us to, cover practice all the topics which you are going to cover in this DevOps?
No, free is not. That's what I already mentioned to someone, by the way. So free is only like just a marketing stunt from Azure. You don't consider it as a free. It's never free as well. Okay. If I'll tell you another example. Don't take me wrong. You go to YouTube and type DevOps training, you get all the DevOps training, right? Why are you coming to a paid training here?
And in a free subscription, I think somehow some services I still can use the free, right? For 1
We
month or
change the
2 months.
topic. Srinivas, we change the topic. YouTube, there is a free with DevOps trainings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then why are you coming to a paid training?
Maybe be more interactions and you will be available for all our question and answers and all.
So that means you're saying like free is not actually the free, right? Everything is won't come with free, correct? So you agree?
Mhm.
So what we are looking for, everything. So the same answer applies to here as well. So everything we wanted to run the project will not be covered in the free. So free is only to start with the very basic things, hello world and things like that. Like you go to YouTube training, they'll tell you very basics, by the way, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's the problem.
Okay. Like with your experience, like to get expertise on this DevOps. So usually, like how much we need to pay for to practice all this? As you know, that pay as you go model clouds provides. But in general, with your experience, like how much we need to spend on the cloud billing side to get
Yeah,
experience?
2,000-3,000 easily it will come for a month.
2,000-3,000. Okay.
Yeah. And that to be, let's keep that way, like it's a subject to the usage. That means if you are using, let's say 4 or 5 hours a day. If you are practicing for 12 hours running the infra for, so 16 hours, something like that, your bill will go high.
Okay. And just additional to this, so you will be covered like if we do not, we have no knowledge on the Azure, so you will cover on all Azure services which required for this
Yes,
DevOps.
to run the application, whatever is mentioned over here. So we are going to target the application which is a highly available application, how to run an application highly available without any downtime kind of a thing, and also highly scalable application, any kind of a load comes in. So basically it can scale as well, or available to scale kind of a thing and scale. And the third one is highly secure applications. These are the 3 criteria. End of the day, we'll try to solve, by the way.
Okay, like will you cover like to deploy the databases like Databricks or Synapse as part of this Terraform code and all? Like
Yes, everything goes with Terraform. So in my training, so what I'll do is I'll write a SOP in a company. However, you have an SOP. So here also we'll do the same SOP, by the way. So for an example, if I go with let's say one of the going batch. So what I'll do is we will write a SOP, right? So the SOP is a very important one. So standard operating procedure, I'll say. Okay. So that means the SOP at this point of time is any changes in OS should be done through Ansible. So that means once I learn Ansible, any change I want to make it's going to be the Ansible only. I'll not do it manually. Okay. Right. And another SOP I'll write it is any infra creation in the project should be done through Terraform. Anything what I do, database, compute, or whatever it is, network, it could be anything. It's through Terraform only. And the other one more SOP will come. So anything you run should be on pipeline. So then pipelines we are not there yet. Maybe my previous batches will have that, right? So it's going to be the pipelines only. So we will not deviate from the SOP. So yeah. So that's where I was mentioning previously, by the way. So the training also can be taught. I mean, the same training I can teach each component as an individual, by the way. So which is a very happy path in learning, but it will not give you the much value out of learning, by the way. Okay. So that's where we'll take in a little deep dive path, and which makes the things a bit complex. So that my SOP, that my, yeah. What do we call? That is my core secret recipe, I would say.
Okay. Thanks. So will it require the basic Linux knowledge also, like basic commands and all this?
Yeah, having it is good. Otherwise, no problem. I'll teach from the starting, no problem.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Hi, Raghu.
Yeah.
Raghu, just I have been recently assigned to the Azure project, one of our project. So referring to the services used in our project and what are the services you have mentioned in your syllable. So there are some slight differences. So whatever the Jenkins and all this thing, how this training will be helpful to cover it, that if I want to use the whatever the service is not mentioned in the syllabus, how the in the training.
So you're already learning a version of using the tool, right? So for an example, you're saying like, okay, I know one company car to ride, by the way, there's another company car come into picture, I can't ride. It can't be that way, right? You already learned the driving. You are able to run one make company car. Another company car also comes into picture, you should be able to drive. But maybe some features will be different, is there, right? So maybe the indicator moved from right to left, left to right, so some controls change, some features change. And anyhow, the core of it, you're always able to deal with the other one. I look like that. Yeah. So maybe some tool, which is I'm teaching, you are having an alternative. So probably from this learning, you're definitely able to understand it and implement it. And if there is any questions, lab session is there. You always come back and, so clear out your question if you really got any question.
Okay.
If I'm able to answer, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. One more question is related to security aspect. What would be the, will it be the core security from IAM perspective or something, or anything else that going to be covered in this training?
No, IAM is mostly from the IT perspective, by the way, right? So we don't deal with IAM of the company, right? So you join the organization. If anyone joining the organization, you won't give the account email creation and all for them, right? So you don't do the IAM job. It's IT.
Okay. I want to know exactly the scope of the security and what the exact implementation for the security measures.
It's AppSec and InfoSec. Okay, application security and information security is our major area on the security. Yeah, we need to ensure the application is not having any sort of security issues, which is app related security issues. And also we are going to host the data on the cloud, by the way. So you need to be little, I mean to say like little shielded on the data perspective. Okay, you have to secure your data. So that's where app security and info security is the major things which will come into picture for in our context of security in DevSecOps. Yeah.
Yeah, and one more like is Agile methodology will be going deep dive as part of this training, or
Other which one?
Agile methodology.
Agile is generally methodology, right? So there is no deep dive in that.
Okay.
Yeah, just hardly 5-6 points you do.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But I don't do the Agile coaching, right? So that means like Agile coach is there.
No. Agile means in with respect to like a DevOps, this thing, like how the
No.
release, and will that cover in this one or?
We are going to run Agile way only, no doubt in that. But Agile is for everyone. Out of there, it's for BA, it's for developer, QA.
Yeah.
Everyone is they are going to work under Agile. And if you're looking like whether the things are really running as an Agile, by the way, so there's Agile coaches or what do we call? There's a program team who will take care of that and all. Will not bother about their role. So we'll deal with the technical engineering aspect. And yes, we run Agile. Yeah, Agile way. Releases, versioning. Okay.
Yeah, that's what
everything
I
will
mean.
do. Engineering.
Yeah. Thank you, Raghu. That's it from my side.
Yeah.
Hi, Raghu.
Yeah.
Actually, I have total 5 years experience as a Windows VMware administrator. So here you are going to teach this training in Linux OS, right? So how it will be helpful for me? I'm looking for like Windows side.
Windows is the least operating system in servers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to grow yourself, you have to come out of Windows, as simple as that. And I'm not telling that. So usage of operating systems.
Okay.
I mean, at least you're working already on Windows. Do you know that Linux is widely used than Windows?
Yes.
then there is no answer right to me. I can answer. You already know the answer. You're already doing it wrong. I mean, you're already in a less market area. So you should first come out of that is what the first thing you should do, right?
Okay, got it.
So usage of operating systems. So there's a Wikipedia page, by the way. So they talk about the different usage of the things. So when it comes to the servers, okay, they talk about these things. So just come down. Yeah, this is the graph for that. If you look at the graph, by the way, it was all Unix world, and after that Linux world. Windows is very less. Hardly 1%. Also, I doubt really 1% of Windows is being used in the market.
Okay, got it, Raghu. Thank you.
Don't worry, you need to come out of that. So Windows market is less. I mean, your only good will come if you leave it, not the bad thing. No worry on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Raghu.
Bharat, you are on mute.
Hey, hi Raghu.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for the session. And just I have two questions like that. And I have 5 years of experience in the testing domain actually. So like manual and automation, like I have an experience. So this will be helpful for me. Like mm, for me, like see, presently I'm like in the as a QA automation tester. I'm working like, but it's good only. Like just I have a confusion. Like just a better to move to DevOps or like for better career growth or like can be in stay on the testing like that. I have some question. Near to I have 5 years. Near to 4.8 that I have an experience. This is my first question. Second question I have, like, see here, you told like GitHub Actions and see Jenkins and all, like, just I saw like an observes like in the job, just I checked some job description in the portal, like in the LinkedIn, like that. Just they are asking like Jenkins only, like that. They are asking, like they are not asking for the GitHub Actions like that. So, you are going to be teaching two or only GitHub Actions here. You are going to be teaching like that.
So let me answer the second question. What if the resume asks the GitLab CI?
Okay.
What do you do now? What is the question to me? So let's say another resume is asking you, or another job portal or whatever the job opening is asking you, one job is asking GitLab CI. Okay. One job is asking Circle CI. Okay. I teach you GitHub Actions. You asked, I teach you Jenkins also, let's say. Now, what do you do with the jobs of these two?
Okay.
Some answer.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you do now?
I don't know actually. So just I'm asking actually. Okay.
Right. So it's a never-ending story, right? So that means,
Okay.
I mean, the same question you go to and ask, why didn't you ask your school teacher that, hey, you taught me only how to deal with the 2 into 2. Okay. So maybe today I'm earning 1 lakh salary. Okay. I wanted to split into 2, 1 lakh by 2. You didn't teach me, and you can't go back and ask your teacher, right?
Correct.
Right. So you have to take the learning and you have to move on with the, applying that to some other new problem as well, as simple as that. So tools also is more or less the same thing. So if you're able to work on GitHub Actions, if there is a really GitHub Lab CI, at least if I'm recruiting, by the way, I will never recruit like tool-based training or tool-based knowledge, by the way. So I'll always look like, okay, fine, GitHub Actions. Like, tell me what you know on GitHub Actions, right? What are the options you are using? What is the criteria? And the same thing you'll apply on the other tool. Like, that's not a big deal. At least I do that. I'm not sure others may be doing that or not, but at least a proper person who are interested in picking up a person, we look for a person who understand the things, not a tool knowledge, by the way. Tool today, one tool will be there. Tomorrow, another tool will come into picture.
Okay, Ravi, got it.
Yeah. Now coming to your first question. Okay. So first question is, okay, so you're a QA guy and you want to look for career growth. What are the alternate options that you have, but you don't want to be on the QA side, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I'll tell you only the basic difference between the QA role and the engineering role, and based on that you can decide accordingly. So the QA role, the breadth of the QA role is very less. Only the depth of the QA role only will be more. That means you will gain a lot of functional knowledge and you get deep dive into the testing only, right? So the testing area only. You'll go too much depth. That's how your job will be. Okay. QA is also a fantastic job. I mean, I don't deny in that, right? So because at least okay, I mean it's a very good job because without a quality we can't actually so sign off any product, right? So you are almost a gatekeeper on that. Now that's where okay, yours is also a powerful role if you consider in the proper software delivery. But let's say okay, I mean the only problem you have is you do the same thing again and again every day kind of a thing. You take the depth, by the way, right? But whereas the engineering role is little different, by the way. Here the depth is less. Depth also will come, but when you actually look at the depth versus breadth, by the way, the breadth is more for DevOps, by the way. Okay. Now, when you learn QA, these many topics you would have not learned, right? For sure. Okay. But for DevOps, you see that, how many topics, that's basically the breadth is more. Now, if you are interested in breadth, then yes, if you are really by nature, you like breadth way, then DevOps, you can pick it up straightforward. But if you are comparing with QA, okay, why I shouldn't like QA? If that is the reason, you can think of it. But otherwise, if you made your mind that, so something like, let me step back and tell this way. You make your mind and come back to me saying that confidently, yes, I want to learn DevOps. I'll help you with the DevOps. Okay. Decision wise, you take the decision. Okay. So because end of the day, it is the you and what you're learning, why are you learning, you should have the context. That's what my suggestion. I think you dropped. Okay.
Yeah, hi Raghu, this is Manju again. Just one question. So in my office, I have account with Azure. So can I do practice? What are you teach in the classes?
If you have access, your company is okay to use it, please go ahead, no problem. But check with company, right? It's not me, you should check.
But check. I think I'm not the pure Azure guy, but I have account, but I think I don't have full access to things. So some basic things will be there. So if
Then
I can...
okay. Check with your company. If they're okay to give you the access, if they're okay, please go ahead.
Okay. Is it something like I do practice and I delete something which will be fine, or it will be any problem? Because I'm not sure.
Check with the company only, na?
Okay.
See, because I can't tell you about your company, right? Company policy, I'll not know. You go and whoever it is, by the way, talk to them. Hey, I'm learning Azure. Okay, somewhere outside because of my interest, I'm learning it. Okay, is it okay to use our account? Someone will answer yes or no.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Nothing wrong as well. Learning, no one will stop, right? No one will fire you. Like was
okay.
So please go ahead.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Otherwise, we need full access, good access, at least admin access to deal with this.
Okay.
Hi Raghu, this is Charan.
Yeah.
And my question is that before coming to this DevOps, should learn compulsory any programming language?
No compulsory, but you learn it over here. And we should do the coding is our job. Okay. 90% of our 95% of our job is coding only. So you have to write the code. And doesn't mean that only Python. Every tool you see over here in this syllabus, in this particular one, is a code only. You will learn coding, or you have to do coding. Not able to hear you, Sri Charan.
Yeah, but not we should compulsory learn before joining, or somewhere you were teaching the Python.
No, I'll take it. You will learn from here. No need to have the prerequisite.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hi, Raghu.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, I'm Kamaldeep Singh, and I'm logging from Noida, Uttar Pradesh. So currently, I'm working in IT operation role, and I've also having experience in using AWS with different services, EC2 and all that. So my question is that I mean, do with this particular course with Azure, because I do not have any hands-on experience on Azure cloud. So will be the same basics followed, which what we have in AWS in the Azure as well? Because in my current role, I'm working on AWS as well as on Google Cloud, and I'm working on GitHub, Git Bash, and doing deployment application deployment on that. So I just need to understand that if you offer course, so will the basics will be the same for all the cloud platforms?
Yeah, ideally, yes, right. All cloud does the same business only.
Hello.
Hello. Are
Yeah.
you able to?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the answer is yes, because
Yeah.
every cloud does the same business, right? I think your internet is bad. Come on.
Is going to be live for Azure. This is my question. Yeah. Thank you.
Kamal, I have lost. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
No, your voice is lost a lot, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Your voice is breaking a little bit.
Yeah, your connection is bad. Internet connection is bad, maybe. Yeah, got dropped also.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, Raghu. My name is Gopal. I work as a QA currently, and I have heard of all these terms: Docker, Kubernetes, remaining all two, but I don't have any idea about any of these things. So, how much basic could I be expecting from you that I would be like getting from this course?
You don't need to bother, right? You're paying fee for me. Let me do my job. I'll help you in teaching.
Yeah, that sounds great, but from the very basics, like just to assure.
No worries. We'll start from zero only. I already mentioned we go with a greenfield approach. So nothing
Okay.
problem will come.
Okay.
So
And
we'll
second
always
note
make it
was
logical. Logical only.
yeah, yeah, sure. And second note was the subscription which you are mentioning. How much would it cost? Like, how much can I expect for like 2 to 3 hours of daily practice
Around 2 to 3,000 you should.
per month?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Good.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, hi Raghu. I'm a fresher. I'm a fresher.
Okay.
Can you please check the Q&A section? I have written clearly about my.
Any technical question you have, by the way. So you're asking whether you're a fresher, you wanted to be eligible for this and all. So like the same answer, whatever I have given to others, I also give it to you the same thing. It's your decision that you need to make it. By the way, to become a DevOps engineer or not. Okay. If your decision is fine or good, I can help you. No problem.
Yeah, I'm very much interested in DevOps,
Then
but
what is
I'm not able to decide.
if you're sure and not able to decide, that means you're not sure, right?
But I'm very much interested in DevOps.
See, I am interested into becoming a prime minister of India also. Interest will not matter, right? You have to have determination. Okay. So you should have a clear goal set, by the way, and you should work towards to that. Then I can also become prime minister. Who will stop me if I really want to determine to become like that, right? So that's what I'm telling. Like, if you make your mind and come to me, okay. So I can also definitely, I mean, I can help you, by the way, with you with the knowledge to become the DevOps engineer, but I'll not be able to help you in, taking the decision. So your career, you have to take the decision.
Yeah, one more thing, and how is the market for the freshers in DevOps roles?
You can also go and check it out, right? So you really need to ask someone. So open Naukri. So the Naukri is a common portal that we use, let's say. For an example, I'll keep like DevOps engineer. Okay, select experience is fresher. Okay, location does not matter, of course. So keep it. At least some jobs I'm getting, right? It's not zero.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So market will be there, but comparingly with an experience, in general, answer is less, by the way. Okay. So now I think another guy also asking like, AI and all. Now, while this AI is kind of coming into picture, so who is actually losing the market is the freshers is the one who is losing the majority of the market. The experienced guy is not really going away. Whoever is in the market in a way that wherever the trend is going on, as long as the experienced people is moving on in that direction, they don't have any harm with the technology which is coming in. But freshers, we see a significant impact on the grads, especially, by the way, and that applies naturally to you also, right? So that competition will be there for you as well.
And one more thing, I'm really worried about the AWS subscription. Sorry, Azure subscription.
Worried means
I mean, I need to pay, right?
have to pay.
Is there any other option?
If other option is there, I would have picked that only, right?
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Sanjeev, you're on mute. Okay, moving on.
Raghu, this is Venkat again.
Yeah.
There is certifications like 104 or 204 or AZ 400 and all. So by learning this course, if for which certification AZ 400, this is going to be helpful.
Yeah, you can target for 400.
Thank you, Raghu.
Yeah. I don't see any more hands. Let me go through the chart, by the way. So I think a couple of QAs. I hope most of the things are answered. So what's mean by real-time project? The real-time project is basically is kind of showing you what is the current trend in the market, and we just try to replicate that in our lab, by the way. Okay, so that is kind of a real-time project. So that means whatever is the real-time needs, and I mean real-time needs, and we are actually trying to refer the needs of real-time market and doing the things. So basically I would consider as a real-time project. I think AWS also I have answered. So what are the security tools that is covered in the course as a part of this DevOps, by the way? So it is given in the syllabus. Please go ahead with this particular ones. So this. And so Anga is asking, I'm a second year CSE student. I can go with this course, and can we get the tools mentioned in the roadmap for free in our system? Yes, you will not get it for free, by the way. So you have to practice in a cloud. At least my training will go with a cost on the cloud. Okay, so yeah. And what is the difference between DevOps course and DevSecOps course? As I mentioned, security is the delta. Difference is security. So there are many people learning DevOps. I have 12 years gap, and I'm not able. I would be able to get a job. Please suggest me. So there are people who has done that, but I would say that you check the capabilities and flexibilities on your side. But otherwise, I have seen people who have done that. Okay. So the only thing, for an example, if I go for an interview, like a lot of people have a lot of questions, by the way, but a lot of people wouldn't able to grab a job, right? So there's a common complaint I hear from. I mean, generally, if I get onto some forum and all, so the people generally say that I'm not getting jobs and things like that. But they never question to themselves. Sadly, by the way, is okay. Am I really suitable for the market needs? Okay, so that is the biggest, so self-cheating we are doing to ourselves, by the way. So we always put the blame to the other side, never questioning to ourselves, going and questioning ourselves, saying that, okay, fine, I'm not getting, I applied for 10 jobs, so 10 jobs, they rejected me. Is there some problem with me? Okay, is there something that I need to correct in order to, okay, get that? So that self-correction is what is missing from a lot of people. Okay, so that's where I would say, like, all these questions will answered when you actually, now, whenever I appear for an interview, let's say, if I mesmerize with them knowledge, now a lot of people ask me the questions, right? I was able to answer the questions, at least I hope I answered. So some may be little bad answers also, that's fine. But otherwise, I'm able to answer the question, right? So that means you're literally interviewing me. I'm able to have or I'm having the context around the things I was able to answer. The same thing, as long as you go for a knowledge gaining, by the way, you continue learning the gain of the knowledge. You appear for an interview. Interview is just a discussion only, right? So just discussing like what you have done the things, how you have done the things, and things like that. So, right? So I mean, it's all normal only, isn't it? So it will become normal, okay, when you actually start gaining the knowledge. So that's where, like, I would say, like, a lot of people actually spend very less time on the preparation. They will spend, too much time on applying for interviews. Who will lose it? But the real person who is really, want to get a job, so they'll spend a lot of time on learning. They'll appear for one interview, and that job is theirs only. Okay, people prepare that extent. So if 100 people are actually appearing for a single job interview, if that job has to be mine, then what are the things that I have to do? Okay, you write it down, note it down. So just ensure you have everything in your within yourself, by the way, what all the things they are going to is needed, then go for it, by the way, right? So that's where you should be focusing more on the learning the things. And I see a question. I am purchasing AWS Solution Architect. This is another fantastic thing in the market, by the way. See, the cloud is basically, okay, a lot of people, so just try to learn, let's say, a fancy word you have is, AWS Solution Architect, or let's say, if you go to the Azure, by the way, so Azure certifications, let's say, if I keep it. If you go into these certifications, by the way, by doing this particular let's say there's an expert training, right? So there's a solution architect training. Now doing this course, you'll not become solution architect. Sorry, boss. Okay. If you're already a solution architect, and you will know how to architect in Azure by doing this course. Okay. So you are not a solution architect. If you are already a solution architect, you go and do this course, you will become a solution architect. Now, AWS Solution Architect Associate course and Professional course is designed for the solution architects or enterprise architects, by the way. So those people who are already doing the job in the on-premise, okay, by the way, if they want to solution, in the cloud, then they will go with that course. So it's not for you, right? So if you're working as a desktop support engineer and you do a solution architect course just for 30 days and you become an architect in the market, it's the most scary thing, by the way, right? So it's not the way. Okay. First, if you want to become an architect, by the way, then maybe a roadmap also, there are some community, sorry. So there are some communities which is available. Okay. So for an example, if I go to the roadmaps from communities, so there are other community, I mean, other things are also there. So there is, I think I have seen an infrastructure architect, okay, which is fine. But if you are looking for a solution architect, so then there is a solution architecture roadmap. Now, if you want to become a solution architect, so first of all, you should know about all these particular concepts in general. Okay. By knowing all this, you will at least have an idea of what is an architect will do, right? Okay. And then probably do some basic architectures, and you go to the cloud, then you start understanding the cloud. Doing the certification in the very starting is nothing but you're losing your knowledge, or basically like that knowledge is of no use. A lot of people does this mistake, by the way. Okay. So that's where doing that course might not help you, Vishnu. So you have to have a knowledge, something before going there. So that's where if you go to the, now what you're actually, someone asked and I told, I mean, age at 400 is fine, right? So that means like, you have some course called as 400. So DevOps engineer. Now I'm teaching so many DevOps things. Now you go into an Azure and you learn Azure and you become a, understanding the things, do the DevOps work on Azure. Okay. So that is what we are doing. I think most of the questions are asked. So how much of the coding is required in DevOps? Like, as I mentioned, 95% you do the work on coding only. Okay. If you do such work only, you have value. Okay. So there are people, so who does some basic things also, they call themselves as DevOps, but eventually, so they have their own expiry date someday. Okay. So that's not proper DevOps, right? So, but a lot of companies actually, you misusing this word a lot. That's a different story. We'll not get into that, but at least proper DevOps means you should be writing the code and everything is going to be through the code. And we follow the roadmap data set and take it accordingly. Now, the next is, I would like to know, do we use all the tools day to day? Yes. And that's the reason we have these particular tools learning, by the way. And how much amount does it cost? I think I already mentioned. So some 2,000 to 3,000 on an average for 4 or 5 hours of time. Any specific reason why Azure? I already mentioned about it. So because those are going neck to neck now. So they're almost an equivalent percentage usage in the market. So yeah, that's how Azure. I think I offered most of the questions. By the way, there are some duplicate questions people are asking. I think that's all. I see some hands as well. You're on mute, Lokesh.
Yeah, Raghu. Thanks for the session. The thing is, like, I'm from the middleware perspective only, but wherein IBM WebSphere and Apache Tomcat, wherein there is no scripting at all in this course. So, how much is required here, and how can I grow through this?
No scripting in middleware is not right thing, right? So they have automation all the time. You are not using it, isn't it?
Maybe, yeah.
Not maybe, it's right actually. So yeah, in my day-to-day life, I also deal with WebLogics and all. So everything automated only. So nothing manual. Okay. So
The knowledge that what I'm saying is myself is zero in the script. So
you should transform. No other option. If you want to do a better job, you should.
Okay. Thank you.
You're on mute, Vischa. Moving on. Sanjeev.
Hi Raghu. Thanks for the great section we had now. I just wanted to know, I have already asked my question in the Q&A session. So I just want to iterate again that I have 6 years of QA automation experience. Now I am trying to transition into a DevOps role as a 4 years experience person. Like how much uh, LPA I can expect if I switch?
So LPA depends upon your existing package only. Like Azure will not do any, and DevOps will not do any magic about it. Okay.
Okay.
So it's a very standard thing what you get in the market, you will get it. But again, I mean, that magic comes with, depends upon the scenario where you're applying, by the way. So some companies want to exclusively, extremely needed a person immediately, something like that. So in certain cases, by the way, so it will go, right?
On an average, as per the market trend,
That's it.
how much we can expect for a 4 years experienced person?
Yeah, you can keep like 5x. That means 4 into 5, 20 is, but you are already mentioning 6 years experience, right?
Yes.
So that
But
means
my role is as a QA automation role, right?
no,
So
we don't calculate that way, right?
okay.
So it's total experience salary only, like you will actually calculate.
Okay.
Yeah.
That answers my question. Thank you, Raghu.
Yeah.
Hi Raghu, this is Venkat again.
Yeah.
Can we have access to the previous sessions by you from Azure which you taken, or is this the first session?
Yeah. Azure, what we have taken is again in a year back only. So I would not suggest you to go that path.
Oh, it's like a
Refresh the
lot of
content.
changes.
Doing
Okay.
it.
Lot of changes happened already.
Yeah, last year we attempted. So so there are a couple of reasons. Again, we stopped it because we're not getting enough attention from the market about the Azure. Now we are getting it again. I mean, last time also we thought we were getting and we started and we anyhow. But anyhow, in between, that does not matter, by the way. But in between and a year, by the way, there's a lot of refreshment in the content happened. Okay, so I would suggest not go there.
Okay, yeah, thank you. That's answered my question.
All right. Yes, Manjunath, what is your question? I think I already answered your question. Can you unmute and talk?
Hi, Raghu.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Currently, I'm working in support domain, that is Windows and VMware. I'm holding 15 years of experience. And my education is BSc. So if I switch to DevOps environment, so will this help me in the education wise and experience wise to get the job? Because there is a lot of challenges now, right? So like upcoming youngsters and all, they're coming with master degrees and all. So will there be any challenges for me to get the job, even though I'm holding all this experience and gaining knowledge in the DevOps?
Yeah, since you already have some experience, you'll be masking the experience that saying that you are going to work, you're already working on DevOps. So, which is ideally is same for everyone, right?
Okay.
And your education does not matter once you start, once you already gained the experience. So I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I was again mentioning. If you appear for an interview, if you mesmerize with the knowledge, okay, rest of everything, your education, whether you wear shoes or slippers, everything will go away. I'm telling you,
Exactly.
trust me.
Understood.
Okay.
Understood. Okay.
So
And one more.
yeah.
Like I got the information that that our training will be completely like hands-on experience. It's not like only theoretical part, and also projects and all will be assigned to experience a real-time environment. So I believe this will be there in our session, during our training, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. All right. So I think hope every one of you got the clarity about the course, and any questions, feel free to talk. And anyhow, I'm going to drop the recording, by the way, and any questions, please, I can spend more time, little bit more time, no problem. I have any questions, feel free to talk. I can talk. I'm just stopping the recording. Just let's go off the record. Yeah.